If you want to grow an audience, one of the best ways to do that is to focus on different ways to communicate with them. And one of the top ones is using polarizing beliefs, ones that really get people wanting to engage with your content because you're annoying them or you're helping them go, yeah, I'm with you. We want to help you become better at creating more engagement, more confidence, and use it to attract people that are just like you, also repel the people that aren't like you, and find better ways to differentiate you and your competitors. It's all about embracing a bit of controversy. So let's get started and work out how we're going to do that. So let's just talk a little bit first around what polarizing beliefs are. They are so effective at catching attention because bold opinions help us challenge conventional ideas in an industry where often it's helping pull on the client's values, our ideal client values, and go, oh, I align with you, helping them see that we feel the same with them in terms of experiences and the way we approach things. And they go, that's the sort of person I want to work with. They help us get that loyal, aligned audience, that engaged audience that think you're amazing and I want to hang out with you more. It helps us set ourselves apart from competitors because the more we have a stronger belief, we focus on that. Even if someone else is saying it, once we've said it, it's very hard for someone else to own that space. It really helps to build trust in who we are with the people who like what we're saying. Obviously, the people who don't like it, I'm going to want it. And it helps us to help reframe trolling, which obviously is going to happen as soon as we show a bit of excitement about something, as part of proof of meaningful engagement. It really helps if people disagree to give us opportunities to engage with them further and to really solidify what sets us apart and what makes things different. So you need to think about ways that you can create an idea around what the most important thing is. So, for example, if a photographer might go, look, your wedding doesn't have to be perfect, but what you need to do is make sure that all your moments are perfectly captured and releasing that idea of perfectionism from the whole wedding. But if you're going to get anything perfect, it needs to be your photos. Or it might be that you're going to focus on creating an idea with a health reflection might say something like weight loss is not important and the key to health, which some people really believe. And I would love to hear that story because I know for me and my journey with weight loss and stuff like that, that yes, it helps some things, but it wasn't the key part. Or it might be that a life coach says something like going slow is the answer to success, which might feel different to someone who's focusing on hustle culture. It's all about having your clear idea of what you want to say and making it really clear that this is the thing that you're going to live and die on. It has to be something you actually believe, though, because otherwise it's not working. We're not just going to do controversy for the sake of controversy. So one of the things I want you to think about is when you're working out what your bold beliefs are, what you could do. So here's some ideas that you could do. The first one is you can challenge industry myths. You can think, what is some common advice that in your industry that you just disagree with? I am starting to enjoy this sort of thing because one of the things I'm seeing a lot of business coaches and stuff talking about is collaboration. I love collaboration, but not when it is at the expense of profit. And sometimes collabs really suits one person than not another. Oh, I'm getting into a controversial belief, but you can see how this works. Another one might be to highlight your approach. What makes your product or method different from someone else? So, for example, for me, I teach about having a sticky web of content and that I don't like marketing funnels. That's controversial to a lot of clients, and it's a really important one to do. Another option could be that I often say something like a typo won't ruin your marketing. And some marketers are really fine detail perfectionists and go, oh, don't say that. You're encouraging the world to fall apart. So, highlighting your approach is important. You can also draw on personal experience. So what are some things that shaped your work? So it might be, for example, that you might say as a product creator, you might go, I created eco-friendly products because I was sick and tired of all the greenwashing from all the big brands out there. Or it might be someone who's a fitness person might go, I created my own strength training for people who are in midlife because I was tired of seeing all the young bodies doing all that stuff instead. So it's working out ways to find a conflicting belief. The fourth one is around your core values and ethics. What are the principles that drive your work that might go against what everyone else does? For example, you might have that everyone else is talking about scalable stuff, but you're going to talk always about bespoke. Sit back again and think about this. The bold beliefs are you can challenge industry myths, you can highlight your approach, you can draw on personal experience, or you can do your core values and ethics. All right. So once we've got that idea, one of the things that I do is I then use my psychographic profile, which is your dial and your dream client, and I use that to help work out and refine what those beliefs are. So one of the things I'll do is I'll load that up into ChatGPT and say, here is my psychographic profile of my ideal client, of all the different values and motivations and frustrations in them. And what I'll do is I'll say, I want you to analyze for me what the values and pain points of that customer is. So what things that they're going to value that I then are going to find an interaction with. So I'm not going to focus on anything that they have that I don't also believe, because that's a really important part of that. So I'm going to analyze their values and their pain point. I'm going to also ask ChatGPT to pull out their audience aspirations. You can do this without ChatGPT, but it's easier to do with AI. So what transformation your audience is looking for, and checking that your belief fits in with that future state, for example. So for example, with the beliefs, it might be things like valuing balance over hustle. It might be that your reflection on audience aspirations might be things like having more time, not money. That's something that really I like. So I talk about that quite a bit. I might be doing something about reducing the overwhelm. So that might be a pain point. But my aspiration will be like getting your marketing working while you sleep or while you're doing other stuff. So that's that time thing too. And then you might have other things. The third one's we've got values and pain point, audience aspirations. And then the third one is addressing those misaligned industry norms, the things that you feel are myths that conflicts, that don't fit with your audience's belief. For example, people who really do care about eco-conscious stuff might go, actually, I don't want to have greenwashing. I want to have real sustainability. This is the stuff I really care about. For me, it might be that I'm going to be saying to them, your social media, the reason it's not working is you're not going deep enough with that psychology and that psychographic profile. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you and what I'm going to be doing with you, because I don't want your social media to be a waste of time. So it's like going, here's what lots of other people do over here, and this is what I do, and it's different. So those are the kind of three things. You can ask ChatGPT, ask it, give it a prompt, ask it to say, can you pull out of my psychographic profile the values and the pain points that I could talk to that would help them realize that I'm the right person? Can you tell me what their audience aspiration, what their aspirations are, the things they really want, and what I could be talking about to show them that I can deliver that? And the other one is, what are some things in our industry that are often known that my psychographic profile don't agree with, because I want to talk about those things. These are the areas that they can work them out if you're struggling to work out your polarizing beliefs. So for example, this is what you could ask from ChatGPT. I have a psychographic profile of my ideal audience. I've given it to you. Or you can summarize. Based on this, can you help me identify bold, polarizing beliefs that align with their values and challenge industry norms? You could say that. You might need to give them information like the client industry and niche. You might want to give information about your key pain points or frustrations, desire the transformation, or examples of audience values if it isn't in your graphic profile, although it should be, and you can do that. Once you've got that and you've created that, now we're ready to start framing what your beliefs are. So here's some ideas that you can use to do this. And these are hooks as well. Most people think such and such, but I know such and such. Most people think the myth, but I know the truth. That is a lovely way to frame it. Or I'm tired of seeing this problem. Here's what I do differently. Solution. So for my thing would be, most people think ideal audience is all about graphics, but I know that going deep with psychographics is going to blow your marketing out of the water and give you massive success. I've used that formula. So let's give some examples here. A life coach might say, most people think success is about going harder, but I know that it's all about having that rest and time out to work through what you're doing. A marketer might say, everyone says you need to go viral to succeed. I know I focus on consistent, sustainable growth because that's what gets me the client. I say that's one of my things. So I want you to think about creating that idea and then go through and create some polarizing beliefs that you can use. Once we've done that, you need to post that stuff. Now, when you do that, you're going to have people potentially disagreeing with you. I hate that. So when we have that, you need to understand that trolls mean that your audience is going bigger than your safe algorithm space. It means that it's working. It means that your message is resonating. So people feel that they disagree with you. It means that they've got an opportunity to, the whole people that will be agreeing with it, for example. it filters out that misaligned audience. It filters out the people that don't suit you. And it really encourages loyal followers to rally behind you. I used to have a weight loss blog on New Zealand stuff, and it used to get 1 million views a month. And most of the comments were people telling me I was doing my weight loss wrong, that I was losing weight wrong, that I'm eating wrong, that I was a terrible person for being fat, like all this stuff. And I used to freak out until I realized that my community's job was to come in and support me. And it was fantastic for engagement because someone would say something mean to me, my community and people that were really resonating with my content would come in and go, oh my gosh, I totally relate, blah, 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 and would protect me. It's such a great way to get that engagement. But it's also a really great way for you to dig in deeper and use those responses as future content. So there's some options, right? If we're upset about controversy and having that trolling, we stay calm, we can respond with facts, humor, or empathy. I like using a lot of humor. I often really enjoy that. So if someone said something like, weight loss, you still look fat, I'd be like, oh, thank you, I've been bulking. That's funny. Or I can say, they're like, weight loss, you look so fat. And you can say, imagine that. I was thinking I looked honestly so anorexic. Like you can change and make it through. Or you can go, hey, actually not okay with this, not all right. So, or here's the reality of where I'm feeling already like that. Or talk to my doctor buddy. You can be a bit snarky if you want, but facts, humor, and empathy is a really great way to do it. Sometimes I might go, are you having a bad day? It sounds like you're having a bad day. I find that's quite a good response. You can also leverage your supporters. So you can say things and ask your audience for their perspective or say, what does everyone else think about this comment? And get them to do it. Or you could just ignore it, or you can repurpose it. So there's lots of ways that you can manage it to do it. All right. So once you've got that, we want to make sure that our beliefs are aligned with our audience. And that's quite a big deal. This is a big, long thing, but I think it's worth us doing this. So one of the things I want you to do is things that you want to ask questions with. So you can say during your content, in your caption, you can say things like, who agrees with me? What do you think? Do you agree with this? Are you on with this? You can also ask them a bit more if you're trying to work out what things are like. Who's got this troubles? Who else has this frustration? What do you need to do to fix this? So you could be saying things like, your belief might be that weight loss isn't the only measure of health. Your audience say, we're tired of restrictive diets. And so your content idea could be things like how to feel healthier without counting calories. So it's finding that link between that belief and what they're saying and then getting that idea. A photographer you might say something like, the best idea photos aren't staged. And then the audience is feeling and belief around it is that they're saying, we want authenticity over perfection. And so your content idea might be why candid moments are the real story of your day, and here's how I make it happen. So it's about finding ways to really pull out your defining moment of what you do to make things different. So that's a key part. So I want you to have a think a little bit about how you create that content and do it. When we have an ongoing consistency with an unwavering belief that we really believe, it will attract the right audience. It will help us to really be excited about it. And one of the things I'd like you to do is maybe you should actually rename this idea and think, this is my time to be bold and unafraid of stating what I think. Look, no one in the world has 100% of people behind them, but the people that have large followings, large, popular, successful followings, whether we like them or not, are people who have polarizing beliefs. This is one of the best ways to create a large amount of community. This is the best way to create a large amount of growth. And we need to be doing this to help us grow our audiences, to get eyes on us, but to develop that community of people who will become one day loyal, passionate customers who know that their values and our values are aligned.